Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dream Team Tonic podcast, episode 69. With me, Tony, who is a little bit poor, so just ignore me, me bunged up nose and me coughing and spluttering. I'll try to mute me mic as much as I can. With me, as usual, Ben. You there, Ben?
Hi, mate. You all right?
All right, mate. And James, are you there?
Hi, Tony. I'm here.
You're both going to have to carry me through this one, I think. The lurgy's got hold of me. Yeah, good to have you both back on as usual. Not long left now in the season. We've probably got about 3 podcasts left after this one, or maybe 2 after this one. Not too sure, but not many. We are coming down to the nitty gritty. We'll fire through our teams, see how they've done this week, and then we'll get on to. We've got a few questions. Quite a few who are looking ahead to next season and what the plans are, and probably a little bit of reflection over this season. Yeah, let's get going then. You're first up, James. Let's have a look at your team, mate.
Yeah, 29 points this week so far. Mendy in goal, -1. Those Chelsea clean sheets are still eluding us. Trent got 3. Cancelo got 10. Matip didn't play, so I'm hoping he plays midweek. Robertson got 0. Bernardo Silva, rare rest for him. Got nothing. KDB got 4. Diaz, come on, 13 points, star man. Salah got nothing. Jota got nothing, and Mane got nothing. But I'm hoping they'll do well in midweek, so we'll see.
That's it. Who've you got midweek?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know, I'm so tired. My brain's not working properly today.
Liverpool's got Villa.
Yeah,
That's it.
Man
Villa.
City's got
away at
Wolves.
Villa.
Yeah, hopefully Stevie G will do us a favour. But he said today that he's not going to.
Yeah.
Luis Diaz, best player on pitch for Liverpool that day.
He's getting the ratings now, isn't he?
He is. He is.
Smashing it.
He's everywhere, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a little bit like Bernardo Silva, but better. It's just like he's got this tenacity about him, and he's just his work ethic is unreal, unreal. Like probably matched only by someone like Bernardo Silva, who gets everywhere as well.
Yeah, he's a proper little terrier of a player, isn't he?
Yeah, after one moment, I think he took on a couple of players. I think he'd had a shot which got deflected out and went almost out for a throw-in, and he chased the shot from one end of pitch to the other end of pitch and won the ball back. I think he took it off. He took it off one of Spurs players, won the ball back, got possession, knocked it back to fullback. Just watching it, thinking it's bloody impressive. That a young lad, young winger, skillful winger. He's just got everything about him. Very special player. Great signing for Liverpool. Right. We'll have a look at my team. Do you know, weirdly, my team's done really well this week.
That's the highest score you've had in some time, isn't it, Tony?
Yeah, honestly, it is. But my luck doesn't continue. Continue really. I put in Ruben Diaz, and very quickly he's out for the season. So that's just the way it's gone for this team. Obviously, I got the 5 points for the clean sheet, so a little bit of a bonus. But Ederson 8 points, Diaz 5 points, Cancelo 10 points. Could have had a couple of goals. Cancelo, he had a good game. Thiago Silva 2 points, Robertson 0, De Bruyne 4. I thought he had a really good game as well. I think 4 a little bit harsh. Diaz 13, Sterling 18. Nice sneaking star man there with a goal in the last few seconds.
Late goal, got him the star man.
Lovely unselfish behaviour from Grealish.
Yeah.
Sliding that across to Sterling for the goal. Grealish had a good game as well, I thought. Salah 0, Mane 0, Havertz 0. I'm sure them 3 blanked for me last week as well. All 3 of them. But yeah, so far 60 points. A nice week for this team, but like I say, it's not really going anywhere. At the moment, it is in. I'll probably be able to find it. Can I? Here we go. It is 23k. This team, best team's currently at 600. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Ben.
Cool. What's your thoughts on Havertz then? You're gonna keep him. See how he gets on midweek, innit?
Yeah. He's still a bit of a differential. So it's one of them. I've stuck with him. I just have to play it out now. It's one of them where I'd move him on and probably grab him, sell a brace. It's not worth it. Obviously, we have to take Diaz out. Probably move back to a 3-4-3 in that team. Not too sure yet.
Use one transfer.
Yeah. Did I take Diaz?
Silva
now. Bernardo Silva to Diaz. Just trying to maximise the fixtures. Obviously, Bernardo Silva not playing, which, like James said, is a bit strange. He had a rest, but yeah, they don't have that many games to the City now. Yeah. 3 games left, so yeah, that's the plans with that. Over to your team then, Ben.
Yeah, 50 points this week so far. It's up to 377th now.
Happy days.
I had 2 transfers left on Thursday, so I've gone from Jota to Mane to get me 500 grand in profit, and it's probably the right move anyway because Mane seems to be playing a lot more than Jota now. And then I went Sterling to Bernardo Silva, so I gained 400 grand on that as well. But Bernardo Silva, I thought, he's nailed in that team. So come this weekend, Sterling's back in, Silva's out. So I'm there thinking, what do I do? Do I got 3 weeks left of the season? Do I just hold or do I just attack? And I just went, right. I discussed with you, didn't I, on the WhatsApp chat, and I said, I'm thinking of bringing Sterling back in. So I just went from Bernardo Silva back to Sterling, and he's gone and rewarded me with 18 points.
Great move.
Yeah, and some money back in the bank is also, that's quite good. I'd be surprised. Well, I can't get dropped now, surely, for midweek Sterling after getting 2 goals.
Want to bet?
Yeah, it's Pep, innit? He'll do what he wants.
Yeah. Well, I ain't used any transfers yet, so I thought, well, I'll use one this week, and I've done that. So, yeah. So, got Mendy in goal, -1. Robertson, 0. Cancelo got an assist and a clean sheet. Alexander-Arnold, 3. Van Dijk, 0. De Bruyne, Sterling, Diaz, Salah, Kane, Mane. Kane got 3 points. My best team now is 191st. It's gone up now, so I'm happy with that. I was floating around the top 200 for a bit. But yeah. So four transfers left. I'm see what I do with that next week then.
Happy days. Lovely stuff. Where's your top team ranked, James, at minute?
175th.
Catching you up, James.
Yeah.
Not far
We've
off.
got a question on our ranks a bit later on, actually.
Yeah, we do.
I'm only 35 points off the top 100 now, so it's quite close up there, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it is. Right. Over to the questions. First up, we've got Connor. Can we have a sneak peek of any content you guys will be providing during the football break? Pretty please. James.
Well, Connor, we're going to take the month of June off from podding. We'll be using that time to plan our pre-season content. We're actually going to pause the patron payments in June. But you can expect lots of great Patreon articles and podcasts in July in the run-up to the start of the season. And as one of our one of our website writers, because you do the blog, you'll be one of the first to hear about it. So watch this space.
Yeah, definitely. Loads planned. Looking forward to getting loads of stuff done pre-season. Basically get a full pre-season under our belt, all three of us. Everyone that's in the Patreon, obviously, can have some good prep going into the new season. It's going to be good fun. Yeah, don't want to divulge too much, Connor, but yeah, lots in store. That will be trickled out over the next 3, 4, 5 weeks. Right, Patrick, DT Patrick. Question for the host. What were the key things you feel you got right on Dream Team this season? And what were the key things you feel you got wrong and will look to remedy for next season? James.
Well, I've seemed to have been pretty economical with my transfers this year, apart from maybe the first couple of months where you're trying to suss out the best players and jump on some price rises so you don't get priced out. Generally, I've got transfers at the end of the month left over, and I've used those to set myself up for the following month. And I never seem to be in a situation where I've run out of transfers and I've got injuries and things like that. So that's worked well for me. That's what I was doing in with my top side and a few of the others. I suppose you could argue perhaps I could have been a bit more aggressive at certain points in the season. Something I've been thinking about. But I've had success by holding back some of those transfers, and it does allow you to get ahead of the template and jump on changing situations quickly when some other managers might, you get to the last week or two of the month and they might have burnt all their transfers. Well, I can, if something happens, a player gets injured and you think, well, that guy's now going to be nailed on, you can then jump on him. It does give you flexibility to sort of make strategic moves if you've got a few transfers in your back pocket. So that's worked quite well for me this year, and that's sort of lends itself to my playing style, really. In terms of things not gone so well this year, I think moving off the Liverpool blocks to Chelsea didn't work very well for me this year. I was in the top 100, trying to break the top 10, and it had the opposite effect, unfortunately. But you got to try these things. The other thing I wrote down was I started with Fabianski in a couple of my in goal in a couple of my key teams, including the podcast team, if you remember, and that was a bit of a painful experience. He was sort of around mid price, and every week he just kept dropping in price, and he wasn't even playing the European fixtures that I brought him in for because they were using the reserve goalie for those games. So I think there's something to be said for a set and forget keeper in a way. Although I did see some people do reasonably well with the likes of Sanchez and Jose Sarr at the start of the season. So my strategy for my goalkeeper isn't really set in stone yet, but I'm erring towards keeping it safe in goal this year because it's not really a position you want to be making transfers for, especially at the beginning of the season. And the other thing that I've taken away from this year is I would be wary of teams playing in the sort of the qualifying rounds of the lesser European competitions. So they tend to put out weakened sides, and you think, oh, I'm going to load up on a load of Spurs players, and then next thing you know, the reserves are pretty much playing. So I think you need to be wary of those early qualifying rounds in Europe. So that's a few of my takeaways from this season.
Yeah, really good there. Really good, James. Ben?
Yeah, I think I concur with everything you said there. Yeah, definitely. I started with Sanchez in goal, and he didn't seem to go up much in value. But he's gone and got a clean sheet today, this weekend against United, didn't he? So
yeah,
just when you don't expect it. And I had Dele Alli in my team. Like, too many Spurs players, really. I'm definitely not going to be jumping on the qualifiers. I don't think too much. Maybe a couple of key players, We don't even know who's going to be in it yet, do we? Might be
No.
United yet.
Oh, God.
Yeah, United
Stay
in the Papa John's Conference League.
Yeah. I was gonna say to you lads, oh, you can't call it that anymore because we're in the final. No chance now. So such a disappointing end to the season.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah,
Especially with the way Leicester seem to just give up on the league as well.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you need continuity, don't you? Just play your best side.
Mm.
I know there's a lot of games and this, that, other, but I don't think Leicester are in a position where they can swap and change that much. I think there were the players in and out that much. That probably affected them as well.
Yeah, I think because they've had so many injuries though that they couldn't play the strongest defence every game. Like Johnny Evans couldn't play 2 games a week now. He's injury prone. Fofana was been out for like 9 months, so he had to be rested in midweek and stuff like that. So yeah.
Then the forward line, I know obviously they had massive injuries at the back line and they've really struggled. Sionchu's obviously struggled this season. Vestergaard's come in and looks an absolute shadow of what he was at Southampton. He was a decent centre half there. But the forward line with Barnes hasn't really got running. Obviously, Vardy's injuries and stuff, but Daka, Iheanacho, all this, there's been a lot of swapping and changing. And just every time I see a Leicester lineup, I just feel like it's like he's just shuffled a bag and just thrown out 11 players.
Yeah, I seen a stat the other day. It was between Evans and Fofana, they both played 11 games all season in the Premier League.
wow.
That's your 2 best centre halves, isn't it?
That's reminded me of Ryan Bertrand at the start of the season. I
Yeah,
had him as well. What a disaster that was!
Oh,
I mean, he was so cheap. I think he was 2 million. And
honestly,
you remember the marauding? Well, maybe marauding's a bit of too strong a word, but the half decent fullback for for Southampton, and then he goes. And I don't know what happened when he went to Leicester, but
I text you lads and I was going, he looks good, Bertrand. In pre-season, we beat Villarreal in a friendly, and he was on the free kicks, corners, everything, and he got 2 assists in his debut. And I was thinking, oh, he looks all right, but just didn't kick on.
Yeah, strange one. Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, are you looking to remedy next season then?
Yeah, probably like you said, avoid the Europa Conference so much. Try and go with stronger back lines and just try and go stronger teams. Like I've got Dele Alli in my first team, Lucas Moura, Reguilon. Reguilon's a no from me now on. He's just been so he's been so in and out with Spurs all season. Luke Shaw I had as well.
That's after a great Euros, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes started well for me. He got a hat trick.
yeah, I think quite a few had Bruno. I think I had him in most of my opening sides as well.
Yeah, and Tsimikas was in for Robertson, weren't he?
Yeah,
that's right.
That punt paid off. He got gained in value, didn't he? And he got quite a few points early doors.
Yeah. What about you?
I think this year I've probably played my transfers better this year. I've been more patient. Not as I love a gamble. I like a little bit of a gung ho punt, but I've sat on them and I've been more patient. I probably took a little bit of James's game there because I know obviously you're very patient, James. You like to play the long game and stuff. But then I think as well as that probably improving my game a little bit, I think at some points it's held me back a little bit because I think I was possibly a little bit too slow and I didn't get onto that Liverpool block quick enough. I kind of think once they've had like 2 or 3 back-to-back clean sheets and that, you feel like, and then you see the ownership grow and grow. You then I felt probably more pressure then to probably go against it, and because I wanted to gain rank, when really I should have just jumped on the wave and rid the wave out with everybody else, and then moved along. And that's probably one thing that I'll definitely take into next season is, probably not to be so quick to write off the pros of jumping on that wave, even if it's a little bit late, because I could have just grabbed onto the coattails then. Don't get me wrong, the moves that I made, if Liverpool had have conceded a few over that really nice run they had, and Chelsea's fixtures or City's fixtures have come to some good, they wouldn't have been bad moves. So it's all hindsight as well in this game, and but yeah, that's one thing. The Europa League conference is another one. Obviously, we've all touched on it. Then, unless they change and they do actually rate it next season, which we don't know. Obviously, there's going to be a new management team in charge of the game. Whether they do rate it properly, whether they use who scored, whether we don't know what's going to happen with that. But if they do, then obviously it's something that we need to keep our eye on. Key things, any players that I didn't touch Timo Werner this year.
Not once.
No, not once.
Not even after his little blur.
No, I
a few
didn't.
Weeks ago.
I didn't.
You were tempted though.
Oh no, hold on. Sorry, I tell a lie. I did in the Costa League. I put him in this weekend in the Costa League. Obviously, a differential. I threw him in there. Obviously, that plays month to month, so trying to. Yeah, that's the first time I touched Werner this season. So I've grown as a manager. But yeah, there's a lot of things I got right, a lot of things I got wrong. A lot of things to. I think at the start as well, rather than at the start of next season, not want to give too much away, but rather than starting with a Leicester block and a Man United block, I think I'm quite heavy on the top three with all my 10 teams. If it is still 10 teams for next season, I don't think I'll gamble as much with and spreading it out too much. I think we know who the top sides will be next season, so I think we'll keep it a little bit more simple.
I think the season before, when Man United and Man City and Villa and I can't remember the other one was actually. It might have been West Ham, I can't remember. But they didn't play the first week, did they? And I jumped on Everton in one of my blocks, and that team finished 19th.
Yeah, so, it flew that team.
Yeah, that was probably the right time to do that. But maybe next season it's probably better to go a bit more heavier on the top sides.
I think going into next season, I think there'll be lots of things that are a bit easier. I don't think it's going to be a staggered start like that again. Unless like this Papa John's Conference League qualifiers and all this stuff starts to try and get in the way. But I don't think they're going to allow it. Obviously, with the World Cup coming up, I think it's going to be more structured from the start of the Premier League. I think all teams will be pretty much, this is how many games you're playing up to Christmas. And hopefully, obviously, COVID shouldn't really be a factor anymore. So we shouldn't have all that messing around. Hopefully it's more of a structured start and a structured season, to be fair. Like, none of these like missing out on. So quite a few times this season, weren't they, where you'd load up on a team.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they got 2 or 3 games cancelled.
Yeah.
And
Spurs were one, weren't they?
Yeah. It'd be so harsh. You could have been doing really well. You could have been up in the top 50 and got stung with some just complete bad luck.
Yeah.
That's just the way it goes. Everyone gets stung by it at some point. Yeah, good question, Patrick. Right, on to Matt Woolley. Given the league may go down to the final day, but Liverpool is still in everything, what are your views on how much rotation we'll see with Liverpool and City over the next couple of weeks? James, Liverpool fan, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm not really expecting anything to change, really. I think Liverpool will continue to rotate Jota and Diaz as they've been doing. I think Diaz is slightly favoured now over Jota.
Yeah.
Mane and Salah will start every game. The back line, you're going to get Matip and Konate will share game time. But apart from that, I think you'll find, it's going to be Robertson left back, Trent right back, and Van Dijk will be the ever present. For City, I'm not expecting much rotation in their back line at the moment, because obviously they've got loads of injuries now, haven't they? Yeah. So I think Laporte, Cancelo, and Zinchenko are probably pretty nailed now. Ake's got sort of a long-term niggle, so he's not going to be used every week unless they're desperate. And up in midfield and up top, I'm expecting the same kind of rotation as normal. I don't see Pep changing, because it's the end of the season. They still need to win their games. He'll still rotate. He'll still try and keep everyone happy. KDB will play most games, as he's key to how City play. And of course, they've got no distractions outside the league now. So, I don't think that'll... I'm not seeing any great change in certainly for City, in the philosophy that they go for. I mean, I suppose if Liverpool were to lose the next game, for instance, then you might see some changes from Liverpool then, because the potential title would be gone. Second place, I think, is sewn up. So I suppose you might see some more rotation, bringing in the likes of your Harvey Elliott's and possibly even your Oxlade-Chamberlains, if Liverpool were to lose a game. But until that happens, which hopefully it won't, I don't think that we'll see anything different to what we've seen so far this season.
Yeah, covered it quite well there. Ben, if there's out to add. Mute. You're on mute, mate.
Like you said, Man City have got no defenders, so it should be a settled back line. They'll be rotating the midfield as usual. Liverpool looks like Diaz is the main man between him and Jota at the moment. Mane's playing well. Salah's always going to be in there. And there's not really any other options at midfield for Liverpool. I've heard a few people talking about bringing in Thiago, Fabinho, but it's not for me, that, just because of the fixture volume. But yeah, not for me. And defence, Matip and Konate, like you said, you covered it really well there, mate.
Cheers, Ben.
Yeah, I mean, City, that back line, they're going to struggle for a partner for Laporte, aren't they? Obviously, you've got Fernandinho come in there and do a job, but it's not ideal. The last 3 games, trying to go for the Premier League title. Rodri, obviously, I think he's had a few outings there at centre half. And then the young lad that he brought on, is it Egan? I sound really ignorant of me, but for the last 10 minutes at game against Newcastle, they brought on a young lad, a young centre half, and whether he gets the nod there, it's a big ask against some. I think they got Wolves, West Ham, and I'm not too sure who the other game is, but West Ham, obviously they've took a few scalps this season. Like to play against the bigger sides. Seems it suits them. It's been an interesting one. Wolves, I think it'd be quite comfortable for them. As the comment goes, Wolves probably on the beach. Not much to play for.
Well, they came back from 2-0 down against Chelsea, though, so they've still got something going for them. Although, I suppose you could argue they were a bit fortunate. They scored in the 97th minute, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They did. One of them. They had quite a lot to play for, and they seemed to just, I don't know, just throw it away, I think. But yeah, it'd be interesting with City. I think it's going to be very close. It's obviously going to go down to the last game, I guess. Who do you fancy now, James, to win the league?
Well, I'm hoping West Ham can do us a favour or something like that, or even the last game of the season.
It's Villa.
They've got Villa, so but that's at the Etihad though. So the next 2 games are away. So you'd say if they're going to slip up, it would probably be in one of those away games, because I imagine one of those, at least one of those, is going to be their last home game of the season. So you do, even if a team's using that phrase on the beach, then for the last home game of the season, sometimes you'll find that they do raise their game a bit because they want to go out with a bang.
Yeah,
The fans are all excited, etc.
yeah, definitely.
Is that your dog, Tony?
No, that's the rain starting. That starting to hit conservatory roof now.
Imagine if Coutinho scored the winner at the Etihad. Gerrard wins you the league.
I'm worried that Coutinho is going to score the winner against Liverpool, but he's not starting at the moment, is he?
He didn't start the last match, no.
Strange one. He come on though, did he? For the last 10 minutes or so?
Cameo, yeah.
Strange one. Nice win for Villa against Burnley though.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if he plays against Liverpool on in the midweek.
Surely he will.
You would think he would, but
yeah.
I thought it was strange that he didn't play at the weekend. But Buendia was man of the match, wasn't he?
He scored a goal, yeah.
They're sort of similar-ish players, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
he's a pound shop Coutinho.
Right. Moving on to Darren Franks. Do you think the Sun will keep the same rules for next season? And if there was one new rule you want bringing in, what would it be? What do you reckon, Ben?
Well, I'm hoping they sort out this conference league, like we said, but I'd be surprised if they change any of the rules.
Yeah.
There's only that rumour going around, like we said, about the wild card and Christmas after the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've heard. But yeah, like I said before in the other pods, maybe goalkeeper points for saves and maybe a point for a clean sheet for a midfielder. What do you think, James?
I think you're right. I'm not expecting to see any changes apart from maybe that Christmas wild card that's been rumoured, which makes sense because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah, should make things template. I think that what they touched on, weren't they, that during the World Cups, when it's going on, they'll basically unlock and there'll be unlimited transfers until the first game after the World Cup.
I'm hoping they don't do that.
Yeah, make it really template for that second half of the season. Following on from Darren Franks as well, do you guys think 5 transfers a month plus no cap on players from one team makes the Sun a bit boring come the later part of the season? It's easy to say this season, isn't it? Because we've only got 2 teams really, other than Chelsea, the third option. Obviously, got Harry Kane, and Son. But other than that, I think if they were, say, Leicester weren't rotating as much, and they were vying for the top 6, and they was in the final of
and West Ham
competition that actually did the ratings. West Ham got through to the final, and they weren't rotating as much. I think we'd all have a different opinion. I think it's 5 transfers a month is ample, obviously because of COVID.
Yeah.
And I think they're sticking to 5 transfers, even though it looks like COVID won't be an issue next year. But I think they are sticking to the 5 transfer rules and then the wild card. Do you reckon it becomes boring, or is it just because City and Liverpool is so good at the minute? I reckon, James.
Well, I can see Darren's point. I think it's been worse this year than previous years. It's a shame that West Ham and Leicester didn't progress to the finals of the European competitions and potentially win them, because there was this really weird scenario that I read about where the European paces could, in theory, if everything came together, go all the way down to 9th place in the Premier League. Can you believe that? That would mean that we'd have to win. An English side would have to win the European Cup, and obviously West Ham and Leicester would have to win theirs, and blah blah blah. That it's not going to happen now. It's a shame that at least West Ham and Leicester didn't progress, because that could have potentially meant more English teams in Europe.
So could we have ended up with Newcastle in one of the competitions?
But well, I was reading it because if Leicester had won the Conference League, they would have got into the Europa League, and if West Ham had won the Europa League, they would have got into the Champions League, and so on.
So then spaces have been passed down in the league.
Yeah, so the places would then move down the league, and it was theoretically possible for it to go all the way down to 9th, I think.
Wow,
which would have been unprecedented. But it would have meant that there would be a much greater player pool to choose from. Fortunately, that hasn't happened. But hopefully next year we'll have a few more teams to pick from. I've got a sneaking suspicion Spurs, if they get their transfer strategy right in the summer, will be good options next year. Because Conte is clearly an elite manager. If they can sort that defence out, he'll get his wing backs in, no doubt, in the summer, hopefully. If Levy can open his moth-eaten wallet.
Pry it open.
I think there will be, Arsenal look like they're turning things around under Arteta, although they've got some transfer business to do in the summer as well. So, I think there should be more choice next year.
Here's hoping. Hopefully it's a bit more open. Right. C-Tobes has been on. What are all your current ranks and what were your targets at the beginning of the season? And what are your overall rank targets next season? James?
Well, I said before the season started, I was aiming for a top 100 place. And I was there most of the season. I was as high as 25th at one point. I am currently 175th with my best team. That's only 30 points off the top 100. It's tricky to make quick ground at this stage of the season. I still think I've had a pretty decent season. I'll be next season again. I think I'm going to set myself the same top 100 finish target. It's achievable in Dream Team. I think it's not like FPL where you've got 9 million players. top 100 finish. That would be my aim, and then take it from there. I think. I've got a couple of teams in the top 1,000. I've got another one that's in 816th. And most of them are in the top 10k, all my 10 teams. But there's a few that I've sort of let drift now because you can't, having 10 teams, you have to, at some point, you have to say, right, stop tinkering with the ones that are not going to do anything.
Ben?
Yeah, well, at the start of the season, it's always to win the whole game.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got to try and win the whole game. That's my plan. But this, obviously, after you drop back off of that, it's top 100 for me. Try and get the top 100. I think I've had 5 top 100s over the years. But I'm 191st at the minute. So it's going to be got 35 points to catch up on to get in the top 100 at the moment. So I've got 4 teams in the top 400. So yeah, I'm going to try get top 100 again. What about you?
4 decent chances there, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're like a strong run later on, don't you, man?
Mr. Consistent.
Very, very. Same, Ben. Just starting to see I want to win it. I want to win the thing. So set my teams up to try and win. Obviously, once unless you have a really good start and a good few months early doors, obviously you have to set your sights a touch lower. And top 100, that is the aim. It was the aim. But as you know, trying to gain rank, you can also lose it quite dramatically. And going from say 200th, not so long ago, I dropped all the way down to 800th with my best side. Back up to 600 now. It's flip-flopping around. I've got 2 inside the top 1k, 1 just outside. I'd like to get them all in the top 1k, and I'd like to get my best side or the other side that's come up I'm probably aiming for top 300, 350. Next season, again, the aim is to win it. Just take whatever little bits you learn from this season and hopefully show the same patience, but then maybe a little bit more trigger happy when need be. But yeah,
I think James would have nailed top 100 if he didn't try and win the whole game. But I think he'd done the right thing by going for it,
yeah,
because you would have been thinking, "Oh, what if I didn't do that? Then you could have won it."
Yeah.
So you did the right thing in the end. No, you don't get anything for a top 100 finish, do you? So
No, that's true.
you used to get prize payouts from the Sun.
Yeah, you did. Yeah,
top 100.
Yeah, it's one of them. You got to go for it. I think when you're in that position, like you had to attack the top spots. You've got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Hopefully next season in the same position, and you play a similar attack, and it comes off this time, and then you can be up there come the finale. But yeah, question. Right, Ashton Orange has been on. Team's currently looking better. He was against the full Liverpool block, weren't he? The guy that's put a full team of Liverpool out, all 11 players in it. And then Ashton's team is Edison, Diaz, Cancelo, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Robertson, Diaz, Coutinho, Salah, Kane, and Jesus. I think we told him last week to go City.
Yep, we did.
He brought in Diaz and Jesus and Edison. Obviously, Diaz is now out for the season. He says he's took our advice and gone all City. Should I use his last two transfers? I think he's going to have to tidy Diaz up sooner than the FA Cup final or the Champions League final. Try and maximise them games. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, so he's sort of suggested that should he use the last two for the Cup final or the Champions League? Yeah, I think I don't think that's a bad strategy. Obviously, Liverpool are the team with the most fixtures, but the trouble is he's against a team with that's I believe that's quite heavy Liverpool. So it's a tricky one that. I would have suggested Alonso for Diaz, but did you hear? Have you heard the rumours that Alonso's fallen out with Tuchel?
I've heard the rumours.
Yeah,
I didn't dig any deeper to like wonder if there were some more credible sources, but yeah, I've not dug any deeper on that.
Well, he was subbed at half time, so whether I suppose you could argue that was a tactical. It does happen, but Alonso does seem to fall out with managers, doesn't he? Or certainly fall out of favour with every manager that he's ever had at Chelsea, pretty much. Except maybe Conte. Can't remember him falling out there, but Conte's never around long enough to fall out with anyone, is he?
That's true.
Yeah, so I don't know. I was going to say. I mean, obviously, if for your last sub, you're looking at Cancelo to Trent, aren't you, or Kane to Mane? I think you've got to pick the heavy hitters. But what you do for the cup final is, I'm not sure. Perhaps if you're up against Liverpool, you're going to have to go Chelsea, aren't you? So maybe you go maybe one of those subs is to move Diaz to a Chelsea defender, but they're not on form, are they?
No. It's the trouble.
That's the problem. It's very difficult to go against this Liverpool block, isn't it? And of course, that's what he's trying to do. Leicester have still got 4 fixtures left, but I'm not sure you'd want to risk a Leicester. If only 3, if you're taking it from next Saturday. So I don't know. Have you got any thoughts, Ben?
Yeah, it's tough now. Diaz is injured. You could go straight to Zinchenko from Diaz. Only two fixtures left for City, but they should get clean sheets in them games, I reckon. Or you could go to a Chelsea defender, you get 3 games, but they're playing Liverpool in the 3rd game, so it's not much of a benefit, really. And then, I was looking at, if Diaz was fit, I was looking at maybe on the last day of the Premier League season, selling Coutinho and Jesus for, Son and Kulusevski and attack that Norwich fixture.
Yeah,
But
it's a good shout.
But now Diaz is injured, you've probably got to look at changing him. So, yeah, like I said before, Zinchenko or Chelsea defender.
Is there an argument to say, actually, leave Diaz in, even though he's injured, and maybe just... he's only got 2 transfers left, and use those for high upside gains. So if you can't replace Diaz with a high upside player, maybe there's an argument to keep him in there. Because, he's got a ceiling, hasn't he? Unless he gets a goal. That's another thing to think about. I'm not saying that's the way to play it. I'm sort of just putting it out there, really. It's worth considering. Not ideal, but
I can't really remember what the point difference is like between the 2 teams either. Obviously, that has a bearing. Maybe because after last week, obviously, Diaz did all right, but Salah blanked, Mane blanked, Jota blanked, Liverpool conceded. Unfortunately for Ashton, he didn't have Sterling, Foden, but he got the City clean sheets. Be interested to see what the point difference is like. Whether he saves the 2 transfers, hopes that City outgun Liverpool from now till that Champions League final, and then just maybe block with them 2 transfers because he might have mustered up a 10 or 12 point lead. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, without seeing it, we won't know. But
I see Zinchenko got 10 points this week so far.
Yeah, he got an assist.
Yeah.
Very unlucky not to score as well.
Yeah.
That's not a bad return for. He's 0.1 less than Diaz. So they're similar sort of price. So that could be a ready-made swap there potentially.
Yeah.
But not many fixtures left, is it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's only if you bring him in on Saturday, you've got 2 fixtures.
That's
And then obviously to Liverpool's 4 fixtures.
Yeah, it's scary that, isn't it?
Unless he could pick the Liverpool defender that the other guy hasn't got. If he hasn't got all 5 Liverpool defenders.
Yeah. But I noticed Konate started in the league at the weekend against Spurs. That's unusual. Matip's played most games in the league. Konate's been playing in the Champions League. Be interested to see what happens in the Champions League final. I can't see him not playing Konate again because you can't go that long. You can't go into a Champions League final and be completely cold. You need some sort of rhythm, don't you? So Konate may actually get more game time, but at the same time, he's going to share game time with Matip. So I don't know. Tricky one.
Right, moving on. Dan Cox. What do you make of all the errors with who scored and the points recently? It's been a big explosion on Twitter and other things. Obviously, I think with the Papa John's Europa League conference thing, obviously it's not been scored properly, and throughout the season it's proved a bit of a frustration. Players scoring goals and not getting Starman awards and other things. Scoring or assisting and not even getting a 7 rating. So it's been a bit of a constant. I think there's one particular instance where Maddison has been yellow carded and not had his rating affected or had the yellow card taken away from his points. So it's a bit of an issue. Obviously, when you start talking about the big prize money at the top, it's not good. It's a game that obviously it's got its flaws, hasn't it? And it's so frustrating. And you try to put yourself in that manager's position. I'd be pissed off. Especially if it's affecting my scores, especially when they're so tight as well. It's not like 1-2 points can win or lose your game. So, and obviously it's a life-changing amount of money. What do you reckon, James? What do you make of it all?
Well, yeah, like you said, the conference ratings have been all over the place this season. They tend to start. All the players will start at 6, and then they won't move until the end of the game. It's almost like they're manually fiddling around with it towards the end. Although I haven't seen such a start. That's what it was like at the start of the season.
Yeah.
The incident you're referring to, yeah, Madison got booked in injury time, and he was bang on a 7 rating before that, and it didn't take that rating. That didn't affect his rating. So that's actually a 4-point swing because he got the 3 points for the 7 rating, and he didn't get the -1 for the yellow card either. So that's a 4-point swing. So yeah, that's not great. I'm hoping Dream Team fix that up for next season.
You'd like to think that they'd if there's enough noise about it that they will have a look at it this season and rectify that error. Even I mean, they might not touch the rating, but the yellow card, it's a little bit different to the rating. I think the rules are a yellow card -1.
Yeah.
I don't think they can get away from that. The ratings is yeah. I get it, but I don't think that'd be touched. But the yellow card is definite. Sure, they have to rectify that.
Yeah, and Ben, you were chatting to Dream Team support about this ages ago, weren't you? What did they say about the conference ratings?
They said that they have an independent supplier doing the ratings for the Europa Conference League called Warner Leach. And I've Googled them and I can't find them on Google.
Leach.
So I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Some guy in a flat cap smoking a pipe. Warner Leach.
Werner Leach.
Werner Leach. Yeah, it's not good, Dan. Obviously, we're hoping that obviously there's been a change of hands at the top for next season, and maybe they get a good angle on this and sort it all out, because it does put a little bit of a dampener on such a good game. Every now and again, we have to bash it a little bit, but yeah, we all love playing it. But hopefully they can rectify these mistakes, because they are affecting. I mean, it's life-changing money. At the end of the day, and you wouldn't want to miss out by a Madison yellow card not being deducted. Wouldn't be good. Wouldn't be fair. Yeah, Andy Barnett. I love an Andy Barnett question. He's back. COVID over the last 3 years has impacted the game in different ways. First year with the league postponement, giving clubs the chance to get all their injured players back to health. Second year, having a very packed schedule and no fans or reduced capacity. And this season, with all the postponements decimating fantasy squads. Next season has the World Cup in the middle of it. So with this in mind, what potential problems do you think will be faced with playing Dream Team, and what strategy will you use to overcome the potential problems? I think one of the big bits is obviously the wild card in the middle, which we've touched on a few times. I think it'll be more important, probably more than ever this season, to have the quickest start, a very good start, and get yourself in a very good position for the second half of the season, because very quickly the estimated ownership of like the best like informed players and whatever else. Once that World Cup finishes, everyone's in open season just to put the best side out. And, well, when we talk about templates, you can imagine what template's going to come out at the back end of that. I think there's going to be a hell of a lot, thousands of teams that'll be the very same. Maybe 10 and 11 players the same. So that's one thing. We need to get off to a quick start for me. Hopefully the postponements don't come into play. And obviously, then you're going to watch injuries throughout that World Cup. That's going to affect things, but it's not going to matter because you've got a wild card. So even if there's injuries, you can just sit back, kick back, watch the World Cup. It's not going to really be too stressful whether your players are getting injured or not. What do you reckon, James?
Yeah, it's difficult to say, really. I think with this rumoured Xmas wild card, Yeah, I don't think the World Cup will have the effect that it might have done with injuries and things like that. And do you remember a lot of the England players when they came back from missing out in the Euros to Italy, they weren't the same players, were they? Look, remember, was it Chelsea's left back whose name escapes me, who's injured
Luke
at
Shaw.
Chelsea.
Chilwell.
Chilwell, yeah. Chilwell, he quite openly admitted that that affected him even at the start of the season. So
And he didn't even play.
Hey?
He didn't even play for England.
Yes,
He was in the
part
squad.
of the squad,
He was in the
wasn't he?
squad,
So,
but I mean, he didn't play a match.
Yeah. So yeah, there's factors like that, I suppose. But then we'll all have that wild card to potentially, obviously we'll be potting in and around that time. We'll be discussing factors like that. That if if a team misses out or goes late into the tournament, we'll have less rest time and things like that. It's something to think about. Depends on how well they decide to do, I guess.
Yeah. Ben?
That thing about you saying about about the wild card. Obviously, we all play Sky Fantasy Football, and they have like 2 wild cards. They call it an overhaul, and they have one after 4 game weeks, and then everyone picks the best players straight after the 4 game
Don't
weeks,
make any sense.
Yeah, and then halfway through the season, they do another one in January or so, whatever it's February, and then everyone has the best players again. So it's just like everyone's gonna have this template team. I hope it don't happen. I just like 50 transfers is enough for the season, I think.
Yeah.
I just think it's daft if they do that.
Yeah. I'm in agreement. I hope they do knock it on the head. But from what we've heard, it's happening. So just something we've got to sort out. Yeah, I think it minimises the problems, doesn't it? But then it creates one big problem where you just end up with a hell of a lot of teams the same. So yeah, quick start, essential. Right, one last question from Twitter from Suck My Cock. Will Erling Haaland be in your game week 1 squad? I'll give the short answer to this one. Yes. No matter what he's valued at, I think he will be essential. Goal scorer. That's all City needed. So someone like him, put him through the middle. They're probably happy that they missed out on Harry Kane now, I would guess, by signing him. I think it's a great signing. I think in this day and age, the money, what is it? It's less than 63 million euros in it. It's
something like that for his release clause, yeah.
I mean, I guess they're going to be paying him a hell of a lot of money. But, I mean, yeah, great signing for City. What do you reckon?
I've heard they won't pay him more than KDB, who's on about 260 grand a week. Because he wanted more than that, but you can't have him earning more than KDB, can you?
No. I mean, if that's the case,
I read 375 grand today. That's which is not as much as KDB or something. I don't know.
I might have got the figures wrong. It's crazy money, whatever it is, isn't it?
Yeah. How much do you think he'll be worth next year in the dream team?
What did Ronaldo come in at
7,
I think.
Yeah.
7. So he's not going to come in more than Ronaldo, surely.
I think he'd come in at 7.
Yeah. Salah was 6'5", wasn't
he? Yeah. Salah were underpriced.
Underpriced, if we're honest.
Yeah.
Lukaku was 6, wasn't he?
6'5", maybe. Yeah. I don't know. They have certainly last season they got a bit tougher with the pricing. In previous seasons, you could almost have your dream team. That seems to be a thing of the past now. All all those attacking fullbacks, they're all going to get ticked up again, I reckon.
I think they should get tougher again. If you want to stop the templates and stop, make people have to be forced to buy enablers and show a bit of nous and pick these like gems from nowhere, you have to overprice these superstars. And if you do it, you'll get a much more open game.
Yeah. Well, 7 million probably would be reasonable, but sometimes these players don't hit the ground running, do they? I don't know. It's Erling Haaland, but we probably looked at Werner and players like that and thought, oh wow, they're gonna be good in the Premier League, and it doesn't always happen, does it? I would say that there's more players that don't hit the ground running than there are that do, but he is playing for Man City on the flip side, and he's going to have the best. He's got KDB firing his bullets and various other rather skillful midfielders. It's a tricky one.
Honestly, I reckon I'd score 15 goals a season for City. They're relentless, aren't they? He's going to be up there, like you say, being fed by the best. He's going to score an absolute shit ton of goals. He's going to score goals. He's a goal scorer anyway, and then you put him in the City side. I just think, great signing. Like you say, it's not everyone hits the ground running. Luis Diaz at Liverpool has been absolutely amazing since January.
Yeah,
unreal. And I don't think I've ever seen a player just come in and do what he's doing. But I think his graft and his guy, it's just suited to the Premier League, suited to it.
Salah hit the ground running when he came to the Premier League.
Yeah, he was good.
I watched him in pre-season, and I had him in every fantasy format, and that was my best. I think that was probably my best ever season because I literally had him in from start to finish.
Did he not fail at Chelsea though? He have like two or three appearances.
He failed at Chelsea, but in that pre-season, I watched him and I thought, oh my god, what a player!
Yeah.
He wasn't given a proper chance at Chelsea, I don't think.
No. De Bruyne failed at Chelsea as well.
Yeah. They both played for Chelsea at the same time.
Unreal. And they gave up both of them.
And Lukaku.
Yeah. Not good. Not good, Chelsea. Not good. Right. What about our mate, as my kids call him, Angry Pickford? He's been an absolute revelation, hasn't he, for the last few weeks?
Yeah.
He's doing well, yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned him as an enabler, and you laughed me off the pod.
Yeah, he's done well.
In the last 4 weeks, he's the second highest point-scoring goalkeeper. 27 points in his last 4 games. He must have had a few
star mans, hasn't he? A few star man awards in there.
Yeah. He's better than Ederson, Mendy, Alisson, all of them. Only Dubravka's got 1 more point than him.
Wow.
They are. Did you put him in any of your sides, Ben?
I've got him in not the Costa. It's like a lower team. I needed some money in.
It's a good shout.
Look like a different animal now, don't they, Everton? Even Mikalenko scoring.
Yeah, I know.
Volleys from outside the box. What's going on?
Unreal. They've got through that tough run of games now, and they look dead certs to stay up now. They looked absolutely nailed to go down.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. They just, I don't know. They just look like a proper team now. They all seem to be like fighting for each other and just. Yeah.
Well, they've all realised that they've got relegation clauses in their contracts that halve their wages and still when they get to the championship. So
shit,
we can't have that.
Yeah.
The Everton fans were brilliant on Sunday. They stayed in the ground for an hour after the game, just singing or singing all the way, proper mad.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
What about Leicester then?
Oh, crap. OnTheBeach.com. He's rotating the team again. rotating players out, giving players rest. You got enough. All you got to play for now is your league position. Play your best team, I think.
Yeah, you got it, haven't you?
I only watched the first half. My missus convinced me to go and trim my bush. No, not that one.
Your razor out, Ben?
Hey?
Did you get your razor out?
We're back
No,
to
not that
landscaping.
one. The bush in the front garden. Massive hedge. I've got a massive hedge in my front garden. And it took me about 3 hours to just do the front bit of it. I've still got the side to finish.
You should have got a lawnmower 4.0. Brilliant. Right. Over to the mini leagues. Exciting news is everything's landed. All the trophies have landed for all the mini leagues that we've run this season, and all the what's it called?
The t-shirts,
merchandise,
the merch. All the merch has landed. That's it. Yeah, the t-shirts, the mugs, the pens. So they're all here. They're all ready to be sent out to all our winners and people in the Patreon and stuff. And I have lots of giveaways and stuff coming your way. So yeah, everything looks great. It's taken over my conservatory, but one of them. Right, the leagues. So the mini league, cash mini league, Dream Team Tonic cash mini league, top 10. James, do you want to give this a readout, mate?
Yeah, sure. So in 10th, we've got Jonathan Perot. In joint 8th, we've got Michael White and Ben Lee.
Wee.
In 7th, we've got Andrew Ferguson. 6th, Heath Robson. 5th, Alex Cole. 4th, Steve Legg. 3rd, Kerry Jones. 2nd, Dan Sherwood. And at the top, still Alex Cole.
He's got a bit of a gap there now. 32, 57 points there.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough to beat Alex this year, isn't it?
I think it is. I've got this trophy here for you, Alex. I pray that you live, I don't know, somewhere reasonable, because these postage costs are obviously going to build.
Isle of Wight he lives on.
There's a few postcodes we don't deliver to. No, but yeah, smashing it, Alex.
Anyway, where are you? Let's be having you. Where are you? I can't see you two on the mini league.
Well, I totally cocked my team up by removing my Liverpool block.
Here, we're at 15th. Where am I?
You're not too far away then.
Last time I looked, I was 19th or something like that.
29 points behind the top 10. Still doable. Yeah, James, you're 18th, mate. I've got another team there in 22nd as well, but that's probably a bit too far away. That. How many is there in this league? There's quite a lot, isn't there? About 200 sort of teams. So yeah, that's that league done. Over to the DT Tonic Patreon League. And as ever, I get to read this one out because I'm never on it. Right, top 10. In 10th, Andrew Barnett. 9th, Sean Siddall. 8th, James Fricker.
Yay.
7th, Sam Course. 6th, Michael White. 5th, Connor Tobin. And then into the prizes. In 4th, Stephen Broughton. He'll get himself a nice pen. In 3rd, David Dunkley. He would get himself
a mug.
In 2nd, Paul McNally, which would get himself
a shirt,
a t-shirt. And top of the shop, Ben Lee, he would get himself a trophy
and a t-shirt.
And a t-shirt.
Back on top.
There he is. How are you both getting on in the cup? James, you got knocked out by Fergie, didn't you?
I got knocked out by 2 points. I was beating Fergie and when Mahrez. Well, Mahrez had star man for City against Real Madrid, and even when Real got their first goal, I was still top. And then when Real got their second goal, Mahrez lost his star man.
Yeah.
And
went to Rodrigo, didn't it?
Sorry,
I think it went to Rodrigo, the star man.
it did. Yeah, so that killed my ambitions in the Patron Cup, and Fergie beat me by 2 points.
Of course.
And don't forget your Trent. Trent didn't get his 7 rating.
I like to whinge too much, and Trent Trent lost his 7 rating No, they changed it after 10 minutes. Trent lost his 7 rating, which was annoying. Which would have also meant I would have pipped Fergie by 1 point.
Ooh.
But there you go. I don't like to complain.
How are you getting on, Ben?
I am playing. I beat Fitzy in the last round. It was a tight game, and I'm playing C-Tops now. Connor. He's beating me by I think about 5 points at the moment. He's gone Man City. He's gone used like 3 transfers. Brought in the Man City block. Brought Son in, which worked out well for him. I think he sold Sterling though, and he bought Mahrez. And I sold Mahrez and bought Sterling.
Big swing.
So that 18 points has just kept me in it. I've got a Liverpool block and he's got a Man City block. So it's touch and go.
That's be a close one this midweek.
Yeah. I've got Kane, he's got Son.
It's going to be very close.
It could go either way.
Could do.
And then if whoever wins that plays Fergie or Dan Cox in the semi-final.
Oh, do you know what? I've not had a gander at how them two are getting on, actually. Be interesting to get that one up. But yeah, some close games. Like I say, there's not many pods left of the season. We will have one at the end, wrapping everything up. Obviously, just having a bit of a debrief. We got through it. I don't feel great at all, chat. So it's been glad we've got it done, and it weren't too bad. The beers kept me going. If you've not been across to the website dreamteamtonic.com, get across there and give Connor's Dream Team blog a read. Absolutely smashing stuff he does. Just some really good write-ups. It's funny, informative, and it's good to follow his team and his gambles every month. So get over there and give that a read. Put some really good work out. We've got a fixtures across on the Patreon, courtesy of Ben. We've got all sorts of content across there. If you've not been on to our Patreon and got yourself some more content, patreon.com/DreamTeamTonic. I know it's the end of the season. We are pausing the subscriptions for June. We'll be back with plenty of content in July. Lots of stuff to get you prepped for the new season and make sure that you're starting off the best you can, the best way you can. Really, you get some good advice. We give you some good write-ups. We get some good pods and some stuff that are exclusive only to the Patreons. And obviously,
we've got all the lads on the Discord as well, haven't we?
Yeah, it's a great group of lads on the Discord. I think probably one of the most valuable things on the Patreon is the Discord access. Not only is there some really cracking advice on there and that, but it's a good laugh and there's some good guys, very friendly bunch. So we welcome you all if you fancy it. Patreon.com/DreamTeamTonic. Even just a quick tryout for the last few weeks of the season, and then obviously you know it's the right decision to make in the run up to your new Dream Team season next year. As ever, lads, it's a pleasure. I'm gonna get myself to bed.
Well done, Tony.
Yeah, nice one, Tony.
Try and sleep this off. Nice one, chaps. Yeah. Speak soon, chaps.
Cheers.
See you later.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.